Welcome to my podcast. My name is Karina. I come to you from the Pacific Northwest where I live with my partner, our 2 kitties, and 2 adopted Mustangs. Information about the Wild Horse Adoption Program will be in the episode description box. This podcast covers knitting projects, my horsemanship journey, and my other passions like vegetable gardening and bicycling. If you're new here, I hope you find the content interesting. If you're a returning viewer, it's always great to have old friends. The format of this channel typically includes musings on an early walk to the barn to feed the horses, then knitting content, some catch up on the horsemanship journey, and finally more musings or maybe a little bicycling footage if I was lucky enough to get out. Enjoy, and I hope to see you soon. Hello friends, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Normally when I start an episode, it's Friday morning and I'm going out to feed. Today happens to be Thursday at 11:30, Thursday, March 6th, 2025. And the reason why I'm doing this differently is I have a pretty busy morning tomorrow, and it's going to start early. So I thought I would take you out to the barn while I am letting the horses out of their breakfast pen, and it's a gorgeous day. So here, I'll just give you a real quick view of the garden. The kale is recovering very nicely, as are the other greens. We had a frost this morning. It's been a while since it's been cold, pretty much since that last kind of long cold spell that we had. The birds are back. I think I've mentioned that in a previous episode. They've been back for at least a couple weeks now. It is still a little bit chilly. I'm probably not quite dressed warm enough, but I have a cashmere sweater on that my mom gave me a while ago, years ago, and just a fleece vest over it. It's nice in the sunshine. It does get a little chilly out in when I walk through the shade. Do you want to show you the creek? There's probably not enough zoom, but Randy did some clearing over the weekend, and maybe you can see your little waterfall over there. Really pretty. So I am going to work with Odin a little bit. I am a member of the Ryan Rose Horsemanship patron channel, I guess, Duck Under the Fence, and he announced his monthly challenge for his patrons, and I feel like it's something I can do with Odin and the round brand. It's a ground exercise, and it's something that I feel like we've done before. Yesterday, Bragi got on the wrong side of the fence again out there in the pasture. I'm not sure how he did it. I never see it. Fence wasn't down. He's a big horse, so it would surprise me if he could get under it, unless he just happened to be rolling at the time. I don't think he jumps it, but I don't know either. This is the third time he's been on the opposite side of a fence than Odin, and of course that really upsets him. Both boys are in their stalls right now. It's only been a few hours since breakfast. glad to see that. We'll say hi to Bragi here in a minute, and I'm going to give him his emotional support cone, which tells him to stay in his stall. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Good job. Okay, you stay here and wait for me. Thank you. All right, I'm going to release the boys, so I'll do this, continue this later. Hey friends, welcome to the knitting portion of this podcast. It's been a couple days since I did the introduction, so I don't honestly recall what I was talking about at that time, just that I'd had a busy morning this morning, so I was going to do things a little bit differently, but I think the segments will be the same. The meander out to the barn, which you would have already seen, and the knitting portion, and then I'll talk about horsemanship. I don't really have any garden updates, just besides what I filmed on my way back up from the barn. So first of all, what am I wearing? So this is one of the shawls that I turned into a poncho. It's made out of DK weight yarn. The pattern it was a mystery knit along. The pattern's by Sophia Tales, who is a Swedish knitwear designer. And it called for, I think you could do it I opted for 3 colors, obviously. So I have this kind of white and lavender, and these are West Yorkshire spinners. And then this variegated color is, what's the name of that yarn? Malabrigo. Actually, it called for 4 50-gram balls, and I had 2 50-gram balls and 100-gram, which was the Malabrigo. So that's what I ended with. I hope I'm showing you the right side. I am not. I'm showing you the wrong side. So, but this gives me an opportunity to show you so I just crocheted. No, it was the right side. Sorry. I'm still going to show you. So I just crocheted this together because it's the standard shawl, and as I've mentioned more than once, I have a hard time with standard shawls just because they fall off when I'm trying to do something, and that really gets on my nerves. So it's just easier for me to wear and feature them when I've made them into a poncho, and I wear them a lot more frequently. So I finished this, I'm going to say 2 years ago. Could have been 3 actually. By now it had been sitting in my closet for a while until I think it was just in the last few months I decided I was going to make all my shawls into ponchos, and I still have one more to do that with, and that is the Stephen West shawl that I made. That if I think of the pattern, I will put it up on the screen somewhere. I was just thinking it was shawlography, but it's not. It had a little brioche, and that was actually my first introduction to brioche. And I will talk about more brioche soon, but first I want to show you my finished object. So I finished my Valenvent socks. DK weight yarn, Freckled Whimsey, a self-striping Valentine's Day yarn from last year. They kind of match. I mean, not intentionally. This mint green is the contrast color, and you can see that there is mint in it. The colorway is called Peppermint Mocha, and the pattern, Valenvent, which is a February knit along hosted by the Bakery Bears. This is the Love Note sock. So I am keeping these in a box. I'm kind of making a sock stash because I have plenty of socks to wear. So, and this is an easy way for me to keep track of how many pairs of socks I've knitted this year. And so far, this is pair number 2, which reminds me, I forgot to get the other sock that I have on, that I cast on. But let me talk about the works in progress first. So just back to brioche. I used a 2.25 millimeter needle. I had intended to use a 2.75, but those were occupied with my Coziest Memories blanket that I have not been working on. So the Briocherie sweater is coming right along. I split for sleeves. I think I talked about that last time. I've definitely made some progress on the body. So I am, as you can see, I am able to hold my arm up a little bit better. It's starting to cooperate more. I am making some progress with my arm, so I can lift it like up to here. I'm trying not to engage a muscle that's not included in my shoulder. So this is the amount of progress that I made since last week. I don't know if you can see this progress keeper. So this has been pretty typical. I usually knit a few rounds in the morning before work, or if I'm just lounging around on a Saturday morning. The yarn is Cascade 220 sport weight, one skein of this rust color and another skein of this kind of variegated blue. So I have started some waist shaping, and I'm just knitting straight. So I'll just show you from the armholes. So this marker here, this light bulb marker here, indicates where the waist shaping is, and then it's 2.5 inches of straight knitting. So I've only got like a round or two left. So pretty happy with this. This is, if you look here, here, you can see this is the main color, but I accidentally knit the contrast color stripe. So this sweater will be reversible. I have talked about the neckline before. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the neckline. I mean, I'm going to finish the body and then worry about the neckline later, whether or not I'm just going to add some ribbing or something like that to close it up a little bit, to see how big it is. Yeah, every row is knit twice in brioche, so it takes a long time. I'm just enjoying the heck out of it. Here's the two colors. And I'm using Chowgu red lace, US size 3, so 3.25 millimeters. And then I have been working on my mittens, my colorwork mittens on weekends. So typically during the week I only work on this brioche sweater and socks in the evening, and then on weekends. So I'm getting pretty close to finishing at least the hand part of this mittens. So this is a bag made by my mom. Cherry fabric from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, which is on Lake Michigan. And this is important because Carrie, who gave me the yarn from Carrie from MyWoolMittens farm. Here you go. This is the color work. So I'm in the hand portion. This is the left mitten. I'll show you the right one. This is the right mitten. Carrie from MyWoolMittens lives in Michigan, so I just thought it was serendipitous that I use this this bag. So beautiful yarn, some of her own yarn, own hand spun. It's two of the colors, and then the brown, and there's a dark gray. Oh, of course I'm knitting on the dark gray, so it's attached to my project. So let me just show you. So, like that. And I'm using Chowgu red lace, I believe, size. So the ribbing is in US size 5, 3.75 millimeters, and the main is in US 6, which is 4 millimeter. So I expect to have those done in the next couple weekends. So, and then they will just go, I guess, in my mitten stash because it's getting to be more spring-like. Although we have had frost the last couple of mornings. I think I may have mentioned that in the introduction. And then, so if I have knitting where I don't have to think, I'm working on extending my owl poncho. So I am doing a garter extension, and it's going to have, where is the front? So I'm just knitting back and forth, and this is as far as I've got. So it's going to have like flaps, because I plan to use this while I'm riding, so it'll be nice to have a place for my arms to come out. So this will be right here. That is my plan. And of course I'll get this done like in August, and it'll be perfect for October and November riding. And I'm using some local yarn by Skagaveli Yarn. The sheep were from Harmony Fields, which is in Burlington, Washington, or Bow, Washington, near the Puget Sound. And so the brown and this, so the brown is called Truffle, and the lighter color is called Fromage, and those are from her sheep. And then the gray is a commercial yarn, so it's Patton's worsted. And I'm using, I think, a size 10, US size 10 needle. I don't remember how many millimeters that is, quite honestly. Probably 6, 5 or 6 is my guess. And let me pause for a moment so I can go get my other project. Okay, so last time I had received a box from Woolen Women. This was part of my retail therapy when I hurt my shoulder. So it came with this nifty little project bag, which as you know, I don't really need because my mom makes me plenty of bags, project bags, but I couldn't help myself. So Woolen Women fibers, and inside, so I skeined up the yarn, caked up the yarn, and then it had kind of a spectacular disaster, so I ended up finishing the cake into a ball. This is the colorway, what was it called? And apparently I didn't get the sock set, so it is called Rodeo and Romance. So the base is 80-20, so 400 yards per 100 grams. I love their logo. It's very cute. So the socks, it also came with this nifty little progress keeper. And there was another thing. So I'm using it for beginning of round. So it is this little hat, very cute. It also has another one in here. Oh, here it is. It's this heart. Oh, wrong way. Here we go. I'm not sure what I'm going to use that for. So I'm knitting socks, and I am, so a fairly complex pattern. See if we can get the yarn out of the way. Using Chagu red lace needles, size 0. So it's kind of a lacy pattern, cabled lacy pattern. And the pattern comes from this 52 Weeks of Socks book. And the pattern is number 4. It's called Branches. I cast these on 2/28. So I guess that was last Friday. And this is what the socks look like. So it comes in two sizes. I'm knitting the smallest size, and it has a lot of complex charts, and I didn't understand the directions at first. So you're supposed to do, the cast on round and then knit one, but I misread the directions. I ended up with 3 knit rounds, which is why it has this little folded cuff, and that's fine. I'll just knit the second one the same way. And then once I understood the instructions, because there's 3 charts in here, and you use 2 of them in a specific sequence for each round. And that was hard to understand. But once I kind of drew it out in, numbered it out, then it made sense to me. So I have been able to knit on these in the evening while I'm watching TV and when I'm tired. So it is, I wouldn't say it's mindless knitting. You need to pay attention, but I can still watch TV and do that. The other thing I wanted to share with you is a new acquisition. So this is also, I think this was before my retail therapy. I got the last 4 months of the Halloween club, Freckled Whimsey's Halloween club, and the last one came. I mean, I'm not trying not to buy yarn, but I figured 4 skeins wasn't going to hurt me too much. And then, of course, I bought the woolen, 3 months worth of the Woolen Women. So this is the colorway Wicked Awesome. It is 12 stripe repeat. I love the purple colorway. I mean, you can tell I'm a big fan of purple. So she included a note that please don't renew. The website may offer it, but she's not offering it. So just don't resubscribe for that. And I wasn't planning to, so that's fine. I will plan to do some sort of an advent. I've noticed that the yarn dyers like Legacy Fiber Arts and Polka Dot Creek are starting to advertise their advents. I'm not sure what I am going to do for that. It's tempting to do Legacy Fiber Arts and get 4 of their, what do they call them? They're not mini skeins, but they're not full skeins. And it comes, you get 4 in a box, and then you just open them weekly, which kind of suits my schedule. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that. I'll keep you posted though. Hopefully I won't need additional retail therapy by then. Because most of them, they advents open up on April 1st, which is coming up rather quickly. So that's what I've been up to knitting wise. Let me take a brief break and I'll talk to you about horsemanship and other stuff that's been going on. So if you are just here for the knitting, thank you for watching this part, and I'll see you next time. If you are here for the horsemanship journey, please stand by. I'll be right back. Okay, I had to get my cup of tea. I have a cup of herb tea. So horsemanship journey wise, it's last time I recorded, my trainer had to cancel the lesson. So Bragi didn't get a lesson. We had some really nice days, and I had been thinking about opening up the pasture, the entire big pasture where the grass is growing. But, it's always kind of is it too early? I had all this to say. I had a lot of options in my mind of what I was going to do, but ultimately the idea was I was going to open that pasture and let the horses have access to it, at least a limited amount. Bragi has a way of knowing that I'm mulling over something, and he's just like, well, let's just make it happen. And he has ended up on the wrong side of the fence. He's ended up in that pasture away from Odin a couple times, and I haven't seen how he's doing it. He has not been able to find his way back, which makes me think he didn't jump it, or he has more confidence jumping one way but not back, which makes sense. I mean, it's not perfectly level. It's uphill going into the pasture, and then coming back would mean jumping downhill, and he's just not that handy with his body. Well, yesterday, in fact, I was working on the fence. I noticed there was a couple low spots. I was really trying to figure out how is he getting into this green pasture. So I had the fence off, and he was just kind of pacing and snorting and really wanting into that pasture. And of course I was prohibiting him from doing that. Well, all of a sudden he just bolted through it. It's just a ribbon. Well, you've seen my fencing. It's a white ribbon fencing, and it was off, and he just bolted through it. Needless to say, I was hopping mad, and then of course Odin was like, woohoo, the fence is down, let's go. And I was really mad for a while, and I thought about, I'm going to go get them. I'm going to put them in their stalls while I just repair this. And then I was walking out, and I was like, nope, I'm going to take it down. That's what my intention was. I'm just going to let them be out there for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and get them and leave them access to a much smaller paddock. And that's what I did. So it's kind of like, all right, Bragi, you were right. I don't like the way you went about it, but dang, yesterday I was like, I'm giving horses. I can't stand having horses. I want to give them away. The other thing that's been on my mind, and if you've watched me for a while, I've just always had kind of doubts about Bragi's future. Is like requires a lot of hand-holding, and he needs a lot of confidence boosting, whereas Odin is completely different, and Odin is just fun. I can do anything with Odin, and it's more fun than work. Bragi can be a lot of work. He has taught me a lot about horsemanship and patience and things like that. So the vet was out on Tuesday. So that's something else that I can say has been a great success. He was a complete rock star. When I first got Bragi, he was just a wild little thing. You couldn't hardly touch him anywhere. He was extremely needle sensitive, and the vet told me how to help him not be needle sensitive. And later, when the vet had to come back to do a follow-up visit, she said that she knew when she left that I was the only one out of all of her clients who have needle sensitive horses. I was the only one who was going to follow through. And I did. I really worked with him. It was very easy. It was just like a pinch poke game. So like pinch a fold of his skin where the needle would go in, and then, I have to start it slowly, pinch, give him a cookie, tell him he's a good boy. Yeah, that's all I want you to do. And then graduate that to pinch poke. And he does it so well that I'm able to give him his allergy shots at liberty. So in other words, I don't have to have a halter or anything on him. So when it came to do his routine vet work, they have to be sedated because they're getting their teeth filed down because they just the way their jaws are shaped. They develop points in their teeth that can cause ulcerations in the inside of their cheek and impact their eating. So they have to be sedated because they basically use a big drill to do that. And they have other things that are important for horse maintenance as well. And he took the sedation really well, did the pinch poke thing very well. He took his he did his teeth floating. It's called floating, dental floats. He did that very well, so he got all the, the ouchie points filed down. And you might ask, well, what about horses in the wild? It's a great question. What about horses in the wild? Well, horses in the wild only live to an average of 7 years old. So they either die of starvation, of getting injured, or their teeth just don't last that long, and it prevents them from eating, which contributes to starvation, not only lack of food. And you've probably seen images or videos of Mustang herds where the stallion's 20 years old. And of course, 7 years old is an average. Bragi is now, he's in his 7th year. So that he's getting good veterinary care will help him live till he's probably 30. If I'm lucky, I'd love to have Odin around for that long, because he's an awesome riding horse. And so all that to say, I was talking to the vet, and we always reminisce about Bragi's early days with shots and things like that, and just what a success story is. And he said, my vet said that she always uses Bragi as her example. Basically, if Bragi can overcome his needle fear, then your horse can too. It just takes, a couple minutes a day of just practicing this pinch poke game. However, the other thing that we talked about is that for Bragi to understand something, you have to explain it to him like no less than 100 times. And saying that out loud kind of helped me put things in perspective. As you know, we're still working on trailer training, and I hope to show a photo of Bragi in the trailer today with the divider shut and my trainer on the other side of the divider, just comforting him, telling him he's going to be okay, he's going to be fine. And he handled that really well. I mean, he was scared, he didn't like it, he backed into the divider, and my trainer just kept telling him, this is what you need to do, this is where you find comfort, this is where you find safety, and that means facing forward and not leaning against the divider, so that she has room to work, so that she can work the latch. And so once she got him to move forward a little bit, she was able to open the latch, and he stood very still. He took a step back just to kind of test to see, is it still there? And it wasn't, but he didn't bolt out backwards. And, he told her, he said, well, I'd like to get out now. And she's like, well, hey, can you hang out with me here inside here for a minute? And he did. It was really great. So, and, we've been working on trailer training with Bragi for a long, probably since last summer. But if you think about, if it takes 100 times, no less than 100 times to explain things to Bragi, then, it's going to take 2 years of, once a week lessons. And we don't get together that often. I mean, we try to get together weekly, but things happen, life happens, illness happens, stuff like that. So, we don't. I would say we get together an average of maybe 2, sometimes 3 times a month. So I think he's doing okay. And I have wondered, Bragi might do better with someone who can give him very consistent work. And I'm never going to be able to do that. I have too many other interests. I have another horse that I really enjoy riding. But if he can stay on this path, and he doesn't go backwards, he's not going to lose what he has learned. Because every time my trainer comes over, even if it's been a couple weeks, even if it's been a month, he picks up where he left off, which tells me that we are going at the right pace for him. And he enjoys learning. So that's another thing. So even though days like yesterday, I was like, I don't want to sell him, I want to give him away. But still, he tests my patience a lot, but I have also learned a lot. I mean, I've learned a lot from Odin too. They're just 2 very different horses. And I just really appreciate this journey that I have been on. So that's it for the horsemanship journey. I still haven't got on Odin. I do have a little segment of, I'm trying to do a challenge a monthly challenge, the Ryan Rose Patron Challenge, and hopefully that comes out okay. I know I got at least 4 minutes of it yesterday when I filmed it. Not sure if the camera lost connection before we concluded, but I will include that. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Have a good week. Okay. So this is Odin the Mustang. He's a 12-year-old gelding from Cold Springs herd management area in Oregon. And we are going to attempt this challenge. I will say that we use that cone as a target, so it'll be interesting to see if he can go around it without stopping. Also, I injured my shoulder almost 2 months ago now, so this could make me be very precise in my cues. I know. You want to touch it, don't you? There you go. Go on. Back up. Back up. There you go. Good job. That's a good boy. There you go. Yeah, you know how to do this. I think he'll walk by it. He just wants to touch it every time. And I do. Come on. There you go. That's it. That's it. Good boy. Good boy. And here you go. Yep, touch it. There you go. Good job. I think that's your best one. There you go. Let's try one more. One more round. There you go. And this way. Yeah, good job. Nice. Thank you. You're a very good boy. Back up. Now. Let's see if I can do this in the other direction. I think I need to be standing on the other side, but that shouldn't have to be true. Ready? There you go. I think I do. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, that was me. Sorry. Okay. Good job. Go around. Yeah, good job. Keep going. Yeah, I know. You got to touch it. There you go. Good work. Good job. Yeah, good work. I think that does it. Good boy. Let's just go stand. There you go. Good work. Do you want to show your trick of going to target the cone? Can you do it? Can you target your cone? Did you touch it? Did you touch it? Good boy. Good boy. All right. That's it. I hope I got it recorded.
now.